Hi students, my name's Mr. Boshaw. I'm the AP World History teacher and Dean of Students at Classical Academy High School. I'm making a video for all of my incoming students just to let you know what to expect from AP World History and to explain what the summer assignment is. First of all, I'd like to give you a little bit of information about myself. I began teaching in 2001. I was an English teacher, a world history teacher, and I was also an assistant football coach. So I've been teaching for quite a few years. In 2010, I made the switch to AP World History. So I've been teaching this AP World History class for several years now as well. Let's start off by talking about some of the differences between the AP World History class and the regular on-grade level course that you might take in junior high or high school. A typical world history course is more like a Western civilizations course. It starts out about the Industrial Revolution, the French Revolution, and it goes through for the next few hundred years of world history, World War I, World War II, the Cold War, and it's taught primarily from a Western civilization standpoint. Whereas AP World History is a year-long course that truly is a global world history class. It's approximately 6,000 years of world history. If you've ever want to learn about China, India, Africa, Mesoamerica, Oceania, some of those places that you wouldn't learn about in a traditional world history course, then this is the class for you. If you love history, then you're going to love this course. It's an exciting course. It is rigorous. It's a challenging college level course. You're going to be reading and writing at a college level all year. You're going to be reading through an entire college textbook. You're going to be writing essays where you're presenting a thesis and providing evidence to support your thesis all the way through the essay. You're going to be writing essays at a college level. So it's challenging, but it's also exciting to be able to be, most of my students are 10th graders who've never taken an AP course before, and regularly, every day, they show up and perform at the college level. It really is exciting to be able to take a class like this in high school. Another reason to take an AP course is the students themselves. It is so refreshing to be a teacher and to walk into an AP classroom and see students that are excited about school, that even as 10th graders are thinking about going to a college, going to a university, that are excited about doing their work, getting into groups and working on group projects together, sharing their opinions in class. And I know that you as a student will benefit from being in a classroom with serious students who care about their work. Maybe you've taken courses before where not everybody was that into school, where maybe you were in a group project where some other students didn't do their fair share of work. Well, in an AP class, you come into class and everyone around you is serious about their schoolwork. They're fun, it's an exciting course, but everyone wants to be there, and there's it's a very refreshing, exciting vibe in the classroom. And I know that you'll appreciate being able to take a class like that. In deciding whether to take an AP course or not, it really is important to consider the amount of homework that you'll be doing each night. And it's difficult for me to discuss the amount of time that will take because every student is different. Some students can breeze through the homework very easily. They're avid readers, and reading a college textbook every night, taking notes, outlining, that's going to come easily to some of you. Some of you are going to struggle with that. So when I make a recommendation for the amount of homework that you're going to do per night, it is just a guess. Because I really don't know how speedy you are. You're going to be reading approximately 10 pages out of the textbook per night, and then outlining that either through Cornell notes or through a traditional Roman numeral outlining. So you need to be able to read, outline, and process about 10 pages a night through a college textbook. Doing the summer assignment will help give you an idea of how long that's going to take, because you are going to read through 3 chapters over the summer and outline those chapters as a part of the summer assignment. So doing the summer assignment will help you kind of determine what your nightly homework will be like. So if your reading comprehension is very high, if you have an easy ability to be able to pull content out of the reading, if you can outline, if you can process information and then remember it the next day for the mini quizzes and the in-class discussions, then maybe an hour to an hour and a half is a little bit longer than it might take you. But for some students coming in that aren't used to reading a college level textbook, it might take a little bit longer. I always recommend that students take into consideration the amount of extracurricular activities and other classes that they take when taking an AP class, especially if this is your first AP course. You want to consider the amount of homework that you're going to be doing each night. And if you're also involved in an athletic team, if you're also in a drama, musical, and other clubs and things like that, or if you have a lot of extracurricular activities and don't go home right after school, you just want to weigh that and consider those options and prioritize. And ultimately, you want to make the decision that is the best for you and that will allow you to have plenty of time to spend on your studies. Hi guys, I'm back with this portion of the video to discuss the summer assignment. In the previous portion, I introduced myself and I introduced the course, and hopefully you have enough information to make an educated decision about whether AP World History is right for you. Now let's talk about the summer assignment. I'd first like to discuss why we have a summer assignment. Some AP courses have summer assignments and some don't, but the reason that AP World History has a summer assignment at this school is that there is just so much content to learn. As I mentioned, we start back 6,000 years ago at the origin of civilization, and we come all the way through to modern times. So there's so much content to learn. Classical Academy starts the school year in late August, and then students will take the AP exam in mid-May. So it just doesn't give us enough time to finish the textbook and then also provide a few weeks to study for the AP exam. So the summer assignment is necessary in order to complete the curriculum and give you at least a couple of weeks to review the course content for the AP exam. Your summer assignment is going to be to read chapters 2, 3, and 4 out of the textbook. That represents period 1 of world history, which is up until 600 BCE. So it starts back with the Mesopotamians and the Egyptians and the ancient Chinese civilizations back about 3000 to 4000 BCE. And it discusses all of those civilizations all the way up to about 600 BCE. So that's called period 1 of world history, or in our case, unit 1. So you're going to be reading 3 chapters over the summer, and that will allow us, once we review and take the unit exam at the beginning of the year, to really start fresh at chapter 5, which is the dawn of the Persians and the Greeks and the Romans. By now you've all been added to my Schoology course. So if you log on to Schoology, you can use your course drop-down menu to find AP World History 2017-2018. One of the only folders that's visible is the summer assignment folder. So when you open that up, you'll see all of the resources there that you'll need to complete the summer assignment. Again, the basic idea of the summer assignment is that you're going to be reading from our primary textbook, chapters 2, 3, and 4. You're going to outline your reading, you're going to answer some questions, you're going to take end of the chapter practice tests, and you're going to complete that at your own convenience throughout the summer. The summer assignment equates to about 3 weeks of work in normal coursework. So if you want to gauge how many minutes of homework you'll have per night during the school year, while you're doing the summer assignment, just pay attention to how long it takes you to complete the summer assignment, how many hours, because it represents about 3 weeks of coursework. The first thing that you're going to start out doing is to click on the Chapter 2 resources folder and open that up. And that'll give you the Chapter 2 resources. Starting right here with the Chapter 2 directions, you'll want to read those first. I included directions for chapters 2, 3, and 4, and you want to read those directions because it will provide the guidelines for all 3 of the chapters. Again, there's going to be reading and outlining, and then answering some questions and doing some practice quizzes and making some flashcards. In essence, you're going to come to class the first week of school already having learned the first unit of material. Then we're going to spend about a week to a week and a half reviewing that, discussing that, and then we're going to take a unit exam right at the end of August. Probably September 1st really will be the day that we take that exam, and then we will begin Unit 2 on September 2nd. Hi students, this is your primary textbook this year. It's called The World's History by Howard Spodek. Again, it is a college textbook. It's the 5th edition. I have photocopied each of the 3 chapters that you're going to read. So chapters 2, 3, and 4 are PDFs that are uploaded to Schoology, so you won't need to have the textbook over the summer. If you would like to access the textbook online, if you prefer online reading, then message me in Schoology and I can provide you the access codes to get to this textbook online. But in any case, just over the summer, I'd recommend just printing the PDFs for each chapter. That way you can outline them, you can write in the margins. I think it's a lot easier just to print the PDFs, and that way you'll be able to work with that with those chapters. Okay, let's take a look at one of these chapter resources. I'll go ahead and click on Chapter 2. Chapters 3 and 4 look the same as Chapter 2. Your assignment is the same for all 3 chapters. And just to let you know, you're not required to read Chapter 1. Chapter 1 involves the theories of the age of the earth and bones and archaeology, and that is not necessarily covered in the AP World History Content Standard. That's kind of an introduction. You're welcome to read Chapter 1 if you like, but your assignment starts on Chapter 2. And again, this is a go at your own pace assignment. You can complete this at any time during the summer. The first day of school is August 24th. We're going to spend that day getting to know each other, and I'll present my syllabus and we'll go over some of the class rules and the syllabus. And this summer assignment is due on Friday, August 25th. So that's the due date of this assignment, August 25th. So Chapter 2 directions. Go ahead and click on the Chapter 2 directions. It's important that you read and follow these directions clearly. So as you click on there will be a Word document that you'll be able to open up. And I'll pull that up right here, Chapter 2 directions. Again, there's a PDF uploaded, so you'll read the PDF, you'll outline the PDF. You're required to take at least 4 pages of outline notes for each chapter. So you can see the directions right there. Read and outline Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a PDF and it stands for pages 43 through 62 in the textbook. But again, it's just a scanned PDF. You're not actually reading out of the textbook this summer. Feel free to use any outlining method that you prefer. You can use Cornell notes, you can use traditional Roman numeral outlining, you can do bullet points. The style of outlining is not important to me. Hopefully by now you've gotten used to an outlining style that is conducive to you and allows you to pull content from the reading. That's the most important thing, is that you can look back after finishing the chapter and have at least 4 pages of notes and clearly understand what you've read. So you choose the style of outlining that you would prefer, and again, you're going to turn in your outline notes on Friday, August 25th, the second day of school. There's also a Chapter 2 PowerPoint presentation uploaded to Schoology. When you're finished with the reading and outlining, I'd like you to click all the way through the Chapter 2 PowerPoint slides just to make sure that you clearly understand all the content. The PowerPoint presentation is a summary of the most important content standards, so I'd like you to click through the PowerPoint presentation to make sure that you have everything. Then you're going to answer the asking questions at the end of the chapter. It's page 62 in the textbook and page 20 on the PDF document. You want to respond in a detailed way and include a lot of specific detail. So please do a good job answering those asking questions at the end of Chapter 2. Finally, you're going to make flashcards of the end of the chapter vocab words. Those vocab words are found on the same page as the end of the chapter questions, and you're going to make flashcards with the vocab word on one side and with the definition on the other side, and you're going to study those because those represent the most important vocabulary from the chapter. When you are finished with chapter 2, you've followed all of these steps and you're ready to take a sample test, go ahead and print that sample test and take it yourself to gauge your knowledge of the material. After you're finished with all of the Chapter 2 content and you've taken the Chapter 2 sample test, you'll want to grade your own test by using the answer key provided. So the idea is you read at your own pace, you outline, you review the PowerPoint presentation, you answer the end of the chapter questions, you make flashcards, and you study the important vocabulary words from this chapter. Then you take the sample test and grade it yourself. And at that point, you have a comprehensive overview of the chapter, and you've tested your own comprehension of the chapter. You're going to bring in all of these materials on Friday, August 25th. Bring in your flashcards, bring in the asking questions, bring in the outline, bring in your graded sample test. You're going to bring all of those things in together. Let's go back to the Chapter 2 resources page. Here are the directions. Here's the Chapter 2 PDF of the chapter. Here is the Chapter 2 PowerPoint, here is the practice exam, and here is the Chapter 2 test answer key. So all of these resources are available to you. If I go back to the summer assignment, you'll see that those same resources are available for you for Chapter 3. You see the PDF, the PowerPoint, the practice exam, the answer key, and then of course Chapter 4 is the same way. So you go through Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and Chapter 4, following the same directions for each of those chapters, ending with taking the practice test. So by the end of the summer, you should have a really clear knowledge of all 3 of these chapters, and we're going to spend the first week of school preparing to take a unit exam of chapters 2, 3, and 4. So we'll play some review games. I will divide you up into groups. You'll talk about the material. We'll answer questions together. We'll watch a few movies together dealing with this content. We'll spend about a week reviewing all of this material. I will give you a very clear study guide outlining what you're going to need to study, and then about a week into the school year, you're going to take a Chapter 2 through 4 unit exam. So that's kind of the order of operations of how we're going to get through this. The last thing I want to bring to your attention is at the bottom of every chapter, there is this list of 7 original locations where civilizations emerged. And I have copy-pasted this same list in the directions for Chapter 2, 3, and 4. So you see this same list in all 3 chapters. These are the spots on planet Earth where civilizations began to emerge after the Neolithic Revolution. These aren't the first places where human beings first wandered the planet. These are the first places that multifaceted civilization emerged with cities and political systems and religious systems. In some cases, there were writing systems. These are multifaceted, dynamic civilizations that emerged. And they all emerged independent of each other. Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, the Andes Mountains, Mesoamerica, West Africa, and the Indus Valley of India, they all emerged independent of each other. And as you read through chapters 2, 3, and 4, you're going to learn about the different people groups that arose in those areas. And you'll need to be able to learn that, to be able to plot on a map where these locations are and what civilizations they were. So do make sure that you study that as well. I'd like to finish off with a couple of thoughts. The first here is a YouTube site called Crash Course World History. Crash Course World History is something that I highly recommend for world history students. There are 52 individual videos covering every time period in world history. And if you're especially an audio-visual person who learns by watching episodes, then this site would be fantastic for you. I believe that the summer assignment is covered by watching the first 4 Crash Course World History. So Crash Course World History 1, 2, 3, and 4 will help summarize the first unit, which is your summer assignment. You can just go to YouTube and type in Crash Course World History. And again, this is not a required part of the summer assignment, but if you're a visual person and if you learn well by watching videos, then this YouTube channel is fantastic. So it's recommended that after you do the summer assignment, or even while you are completing the summer assignment, each of these videos is about 10 or 11 minutes in length, and I feel like it accurately represents the content standards, and it really helps what you've read to sink in. So I recommend watching these Crash Course World History videos 1 through 4, which summarize the summer assignment. Another thing is, please reach out to me if I can be of help to you in any way. I'll be around the school for at least a week or two after graduation, and I come back to the school in August, at least 2 weeks prior to the start of the school year. So please message me, email me if you have any questions about the summer assignment. If I'm in my office, I'd be happy to meet with you or your family to help explain the course or to just give you any help that you need. So I hope that you reach out to me if there's anything that I can do to help you. Otherwise, I'll see you on the first day of school, and the summer assignment is due on Friday, the second day of school. Bye-bye. Have a great summer.